Your just goals are going to be a lot less. Okay, so you don't have to worry about those. So here's reverse dive pike. Maybe we'll make sure that you can see it. Go. There it went. Sorry. We're going to talk about the balance points. Reverse, the balance points are very, very crucial. And slant boards are amazing for reverses. Skid. Your job is to make your dives look effortless. Load, lock, stand. She bends her elbows to get extension on those too. You can get some more height with that as well. In, out. We call ET11 for our back dives pike and reverse dives pike. It's in one move, out one move. In one move, out one move. All right? So that's pretty good, right? Decent? Did it look very hard? No. If you have the right balance and your arms up, you can do any of the basic dives that you want to do. Everybody here can do all the basic dives with the right balance on takeoff, right position on takeoff. Doesn't matter who you are. 303C. Some of you may not get to a reverse 1.5 pike, and that is just fine. We want to get consistency. Okay? DD is not always what we have to have. It's being consistent, because consistency wins championships. I've had girls with the tuck list get on the podium at the state meet in Indiana pretty easily. 4th place, somebody had a full tuck list. All right? And usually your top people are doing pike lists. All right? So, look pretty simple. Everybody see that action right there? He's coming out 3-4, or 1-2. Everybody see 1-2? And then he lays back 3-4, then looks, then shoots. Those are all the things that we're trained and everything that we do on land. So, what you have to remember is trust your training. And the training that we do on dry land, you have to trust that it stays with you when you get out there on the board. All right? Okay? And that's what's going to happen today for some of you when you get scared. You need to tell yourself, just trust your training. You just prepared yourself to do this exact one thing. And if you can convince yourself to do that, then you're fine. Is it going?
Frozen.
Of course it would be frozen. I had him pulled up last night, so I didn't have to forget about it. Now watch the upper body and watch how the upper body stops. You'll see it stop and the lower body spins up. That's what we talk about when I'm talking about spinning up. You'll see it spin up very well if it continues to go. And that one is an Olympian. So of course a lot of the mechanics are great. And it's great to watch divers who are so precise. Uh-oh. There we go. Boom, block. It was smooth. Would you agree that was very, very smooth? Boom, in, out. There's action. I can't go slow on these, can I? Nope. Boom. Now, he's pretty strong, knows how to use the board. That's about it. Gets to the right positions. Okay? All you guys have to do, if you can add the power with the mechanics, it's all there. And some of you are really good with the mechanics and making changes, so we also have to get powerful. So we don't get powerful in our practices, because if I worked just on power, we wouldn't get very good at diving, because power is what you do in the weight room, okay, with your resistance training and stuff. So you want to incorporate some of that on your own, whether you're in an APC in high school, advanced physical conditioning class, something that is there. And a lot of times you can talk to the weight coaches, because some of them will specify, some don't specify. If you're at Avon, theirs won't specify, because Avon's strength coaches were our coaches, strength coaches before. But sometimes they can specify. And if they say, well, what type of workouts would you do? If they have different workouts for football players, you can always say you'd want the workout that the wide receivers get. All right? Wide receivers have to be able to bound and spring up into the air. All right? So if they have any, they do like in the NFL and stuff, everybody has different workouts based on what they need. All right? So that is something that you could tell them. But I need 2 people on the slant board. Everybody else find a spot. Reverses is very important. And if you've never been on slant board to do a reverse, you should probably get on slant board at some point in time. All right? Now, goal on reverses is to have whole foot balance on fronts and reverses. And most of you could stick a child's reading book and stuff at least underneath your heels. So we have to be able to load our heels. So if you see the people on the slant board, go ahead and squat down. Squat down. Now, if you wanted to stay balanced, the center of gravity is going to have to shift back over your heels. Your center of gravity is inside the body at this point in time. And if they're sitting over the heels, you're pretty strong. And at that point in time, your toes should be loose. All right? So when you're on the slant board in between your dives and stuff today, you should practice hitting that position. Now, where should our shoulders be? Shoulders should be over the front pockets. Shoulders should be over the front pockets. A lot of divers will pull their shoulders when they stand up, and that's the number one no-no. No pulling the shoulders, okay? So back down into that. Center of gravity shifts back. The toes loosen up. We make sure our shoulders are right over the front pockets, and then we tighten up our tummy. Biceps are in our ears. And the thing is, once we get to this position, divers, if you want to do a reverse dive, you can do a reverse dive. If you want to do a reverse somersault or 1.5, you can do it based on your strength and power. All right? Some of you are doing stall bars, tuck-ups over here. If you can't do a set of 10 stall bar pike-ups on your own, you probably shouldn't do back 1.5 pike. All right? Not saying you can't, but I'm saying you should get the strength to be able to do the dive right first while you're building it up with your lead-ups and stuff. So if you notice today that you can't do those, but you have back 1.5, reverse 1.5 pike in your list, we need to improve that strength, okay? All around core, not just here, all right? Okay, everybody find a spot on the floor. You can still kind of do this. Feet flat, and I want you to shift your weight kind of back into your toes, and you'll feel your toes come up, but if you're on the floor, you feel like you're going to fall back. When you're on an angle, this is the slant board, and this is where the board's at when we jump and land on the board, okay, Lucy? Because we bend the board, right? So we have to practice balancing when it's in that depressed state. Okay? So your weight should be back, shifted back a little bit. You may feel like you want to fall back. Shoulders over the front pockets and tuck in your tummy. Now, arms go up over the head. Now, what most divers forget from this point right in here is stand up from the butt. So don't go through toes. Just stand up and straighten your legs. Go back down. Stand up from the butt. You're just straightening your knees. Now, separate the action between ankles to upper back C. Ankles to upper back C. I don't want to push my hips forward and out because that's the way they'll go. I want to push my hips up into the ceiling. Okay? You had a big Texas belt buckle on your belt right here. You want to drive your belt buckle up into the ceiling. And to do that, you have to get your fingertips through vertical before your feet leave. Okay? Arms back up. Go down into that squat position. Belly in. Stand up from the butt, push to C. Now, for connection, we slam. All right? Everything comes back together. What else is coming back at the same time with the upper body? Your lower body. So, that is AR, action, reaction, action, reaction. You come off the board and you use your foot push, or foot slaps, you get your feet coming up, and then you throw back at the legs. The legs will speed up. Your time to closure will speed up. If you can get in faster, you can rotate longer, okay? And that's our goal, to maximize the number of rotations that we can do, and it all starts with your board work. If you can't bend the board that much, you may not be able to get as high as some of the other divers, but if your balance, mechanics, positions are good, you can still do the dives better, okay? But you are scored on height and everything, so we have to improve that strength as well. All right, everybody, let's go high Y, up on toes. High Y, up on toes. You're at the top of your hurdle right now, so flatten your back. This is the weakest part of the dive. Please remember that. So we're dropping in out of the hurdle for a reverse. Please remember that we need to drift with the arms, and then we have to draw in with the knees to prepare for that landing. Now, once we prepare for the landing, we land on the board, feet go flat. Once the feet go flat, the arms are going to inlocate to 7 o'clock. Now fix your brace. Good. Always turn that off right there. Palms should be facing down. Good. Now we're going to sink into we're already into the board, sorry. Now we're going to pull the arms up over our head. When we do that, don't let anything else move. Pull. Legs stayed still. Now go to stand up from the butt. Now go push to C. Now slam. Good. Let's go through that a couple more times. High Y, up on toes. This is us jumping up on the board, landing on the board, taking off. Drift and draw. Catch the board, and as you catch, the arms inlocate to 7 o'clock. Good. Brace on. Pull. Legs should have stayed still. If you're on the slant board, you should not have lost your balance. Stand up from the butt. Push to C. Slam. Good. Do that again. Please rotate on off the board right here. And do that like 5 more times. Get at least 1 on the board. There's like 5 of you over here. Each of you get at least 1 time on the board. That's fine. Up to high Y. You're doing the same thing you just did. Whip on toes, drift and draw. Then we catch the board, arms in, locate to 7. Now, this is where you go feet flat, and your hips are back. Are your toes loose? You should have enough weight back. There, there. Now, swing with the arms, pull. Arms go up. Oh, you're not supposed to straighten your legs yet. Bend that back down. Go arms back to position. Now, swing arms, but stay legs. Good. Now stand up from the butt. Now push to C. Now push to C. Slam. There you go. That's our somersault action. Make sure, get. Don't stand there and wait for the next person. Be that next person. And you make sure you shift that weight back and in. Getting that right position feels scary when you're on the board. A lot of times it feels like you're going to hit the board when you're loaded out right. That doesn't mean you are. Just please remember the shoulders don't move as you're standing up. That will put you into the board. Okay? So if you have coaches at your school and you're working on your reverses, please don't tell them they're wrong in certain cases. But if you hear them tell you to pull your shoulders back, it's a lot of times you're not staying down on your legs, you're not getting your arms up. Okay? So they'll ask you, you're pushing it out, they want you to pull your shoulders back. Please don't do that. Okay? You'll know that inside your head that may be dangerous. All right? Okay, so now we have to think about our spots too. So we're going to go back to that, go back to the high Y. If anybody wants to be on slant board, you're fine on slant board. So if you remember our backs, some of you were here on Wednesday. High Y, palms out, brace on, drift and draw. Good. Now we're going to catch the board and then locate. And when that happens, brace on, your feet should be flat and you should go to your high spot. All right? Your high spot should be 10 degrees above vertical. About 10 degrees above vertical. So if you're over here looking, you should be probably up above where that blue line is. That's where your eyes go to. All right? So you're down here, ready to swing. Everybody ready? Shoulders right over the front pockets, brace on. Pull! Eyes are still on the high spot. Stand up from the butt. Eyes are still on the high spot. Push to C. Eyes are still on the high spot. And then we connect. Eyes are still there. That's when you lose your high spot because your legs come through and we miss that. Okay? But then we come back to our high spot for the rest. Do a couple more and just focus on your high spot because it's a different position at the head. Some of you have your eyes down, looking down at the water on gainers. You don't want your eyes down looking on waters. Now your head's out in front. Now you got to pull your head back. Now you're going to hip it out. Okay? So think about where you're looking. 10 aspects of a dive, and every one is encompassed with spotting. What am I seeing when I'm at that point in time in the dive? Okay? And sometimes when you get good at seeing those, you feel really comfortable in your dives. But you have to practice seeing them. So when I ask you about those, if we're doing somersaults for our reverses today, we have mats on the bottom of the pool, but their colors have faded over the last couple of years, so it's almost the same color as the bottom. But you want to think about spotting the water on all of our somersaults today. Okay? You want to see your high spot and you want to pick up your water spot for the somersaults. Where are we at? We have 1 minute left and that is fine. We're going to transition. 1, 1, 1. 1, 1. That is 5, right? And you go with him. Yay! You're going to stick kind of helping him out. Where do you guys want to go first? Lineups or approaches? Lineup? Okay. You guys are going to 3 meters. You're just jumping off 3 meters to get comfortable. If you want to try it, they're doing back fall-ins. You do not have to do a back fall-in. So you got 10 minutes jumping off 3 meters to get comfortable.